Hi, this is Graham Bibby on the 16th of August 2014, coming to you with a market update. And what an interesting week this has been after a disappointing few weeks, let's say. We did appear to be breaking out to the upside, and the second half of the year of my anticipated rise in markets and rise in our stocks. So quite disappointed that we had the sell-off. The first chart I've got in front of me, I'm just going to make it slightly bigger. We'll come all the way over to here, is the Nasdaq Composite Index, and the concern was this top here should provide support in the future, and it did here and it did here, but just 2 weeks ago it didn't. We broke below that. This was in a significant break and it didn't last more than a day, and then we rose above it. However, that is the Nasdaq, and the S&P broke below its support level here, came back to this support level, which did hold, which is a good sign. This is a negative sign, this is a good sign, and then we've risen up to this moving average, which has now turned over. In the longer term trend, normally you'd expect to stay above that moving average. So we've got some mixed signals. The Dow Jones World Index, which is a trade-weighted index of the world markets, broke below this support level, and now we've risen up to the moving average. So next week's going to be quite important for the market to see where we're going from here. If we go back to the Nasdaq again, this one is the bright hope, because not only have we bounced back and up above that support level, but we've gone above the moving average and we are testing these highs. If we certainly go above 4,000, let's say 500, then I would say we're off to the races, and I'm still adamant the second half of this year is going to be very, very good. Areas that we're involved in our fund optimization service, like China, broke out of its downtrend, long-term downtrend in July. It's had that rise and hasn't really sold off at all, so that's still looking quite good. On the metals and mining sector, it broke out. Let's just show that more clearly. It broke out of this big sideways range, sold off in the last 3 weeks, but it's still quite supported above this support level, so that still looks okay. The US dollar, which I'd mentioned, had broken out of this sideways range, and it's been trading between this range for some period. It's held up very nicely during all of this. Some old chestnuts on the fund optimization service side have held up. Thailand has held up. It had this big sell-off at the end of July. Then it reversed up, and then we had support here. We got buying coming in where the arrow is at a higher level than this, which was an indication the trend might be reversing. And then when we broke above that high, that told me the psychology is currently up. So if we have another down day or so, and followed by strength, Thailand for the fund optimization service would be a buy. Indonesia is trying to follow suit. There's a lot of overhead resistance just below 30, but if we break below that, which I seem to be inclined to think we will, then that will be going higher. If we go further down here, I mentioned silver before. Silver Standard Resources had the sell-off at the end of July. It's trying to reverse that position. So quite interesting on the metals and minerals side of it. Now, just to get into our Insiders Club, which we've had a lot of sells recently, we have things like Apple, which have held up very, very nicely. You see no stop loss broken. Stop loss was here. It held up nicely, and it's gradually creeping back up. That's fairly good. But our standout winners for the week were Gilead Sciences, was up 7.9%, hit new high here. So generally speaking, when the market is normal, let's say in inverted commas, because is it ever normal these days, but it's flat, it's not under pressure, these stocks will outperform. This stock is so strong, despite that negativity, it's rising, and it's gone basically from a shade over 90 just a week or so ago to 99, 10%, very nicely, thank you. Skyworks Solutions is following suit, really. It was just a tad over 50, and it's 54.39, so that's about 8% rise. So quite encouraged by the stocks we've got, but we did have a lot of apparent trend reversals. Some of those trend reversals has seen some strength since. United Rentals, held up, trying to approach its new high. Spirit Airlines, I'm a fan of the airlines. Save is at or near a new high. Super microcomputers just about held in there, holding up. I know Chestnut, which we're not in at the moment, but this has had a stellar week, is Jazz. And the reason we're not in it, once we sold out here, and then we had this negative downtrend. But in 2 or 3, let's say 3 trading days, the stock's up over 10%. Fundamentals are still great. We just need that uptrend to be able to get back into that stock. So overall, I think this week is market make your mind up time. The Dow Jones came back to this long-term support level, which it's risen back above. It had broken a short-term stop here. And the whole idea with the Insiders Club and the Insiders Club FOS, which is Fund Optimization Service, where we give you buy and sell signals and keep you empowered, is for protection from the downside. We've had several false moves, and that was one big one at the beginning of the year, another one in April, and now we've had one now which may prove to be a false move. But the reason we have to exit is we never know when those trends are going to end up being something more significant, like the global financial crisis or the tech wreck, where some stocks fell as much as 90%. Even the best stocks in the world, if the overall market continues to fall, will fall. So right now, it's unemotional. I'm following the system. I'm following the methodology. We have roughly 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 10 stocks in the Insiders Club, and we maybe have 8 funds in our Fund Optimization Service. To have both of the services is a good balance. And if you've got any other holdings out there, you need to be quite careful, because some stocks are correcting more significantly. And if you'd like me to take a look at them, just email me at the Insiders Club. You can look at our website, or Paul, who sends you these updates, I believe, and or to me direct at ceo@richmondth.com, and I'm prepared to give you a free review of where you are. So this is Graham Bibby on the 16th of August 2014, saying I'm unemotional. I have some great stocks in my watch list. I've added 8 more stocks in the last 2 weeks. Lots of undervalued, superior earnings growth stocks. And when this phase of jitterishness ends, we will be in there and outperforming as usual. So this is Graham Bibby saying thanks for listening, and I'll be back to you again next week. Have a great weekend.